Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Here I've got episode 3 of How to Properly Cut Weight series. So far I've gone through water loading, sodium loading, and then in this episode I'm going to talk about how you can manipulate the actual weight of the food that you put in your body in order to cut that extra little weight off for weigh-ins, whether it be powerlifting, wrestling, fighting, whatever you may have coming up. Now, for me personally, this is for powerlifting. Right now, I am one day out from the North American Championship, so I'm in my hotel room here in the Cayman Islands, and I have kind of my food and supplies laid out here on the counter. So, let's go ahead and talk about why you may want to manipulate gut weight, is usually what it's referred to as. And that's just like water that may be sitting in your body, right? Extra water sitting in your cells, that's going to add body weight. Food has the digestion time, right? So obviously you don't eat food and immediately expel it out. Some of that's going to sit in your gut. And most notably, we're going to be talking about fiber whenever we're talking about gut weight for the most part. So that would be complex carbohydrates. I'm taking a look here. I don't have anything that has a ton of fiber sitting here for obvious reasons, but that may include like fruits and vegetables, whole grains. All of those are going to be high in fiber. And what happens is that fiber goes into your digestive tract. And if you're familiar with counting calories, you may know that you can subtract the fiber out of your total carbs to get something called net carbs. And that's because your body can't digest that fiber properly, or at least most of it. So what happens is you end up flushing it out. But in the time that it's sitting in your digestive system, that fiber can take in water as well. So that's literally what I'm talking about whenever I'm talking about gut weight. So if you eat a bunch of complex carbohydrates, you're going to artificially hold on to some water. So just like sodium, you want to keep an eye on your fiber intake to avoid holding on to extra water to make that water cut more efficient. The other thing is calorie density. So I know some people talk about eating less calorie dense foods for weight loss, which that's totally a good thing. I support that. And what that means is calorie density is how many calories per volume of the food. Now, here the opposite's going to be true. You want to get in as many calories as you can with as little actual weight to the food as possible. Because as you eat this, it's going to be physically in your body. You want those calories for energy, because at this point, one day out, 1 week out, you are not trying to lose body fat to make weight. This is all manipulation of variables rather than actually going on a weight loss diet. Because if I cut all my calories and then tried to lift tomorrow, I would feel like crap. So kind of take the opposite approach. You try and find things that have as many calories as possible without weighing a whole lot. Now, that's going to still not be totally fun. You may think, hey, eating Hershey's bars and Sour Patch Kids and rice cakes sounds like a great diet, but by the end, you're going to be sick of the junk foods. And that's how I am. I'm craving a real meal right now, but this is what I have to do. And as an example here, each one of these is 220 calories, right? And look at how little food weight this is. Same thing with the Sour Patch Kids, 12 of them is 110 calories. So I can easily make my caloric intake while minimizing the actual weight of the food that's going into my stomach. And these are all what's called simple carbohydrates, aka sugars, and your body breaks these down really fast, and they're not going to sit and absorb water in your stomach. So I know this was a short tip, but it's something to keep in mind. Do not eat a bunch of fruits and vegetables while you're trying to make weight, because one, especially vegetables, they're not providing a whole lot of caloric intake for you. they're maybe just satisfying your hunger needs. And two, they're going to sit in your gut, take a while to digest, and also hold on to water because of the fiber and the complex carbohydrates that are in them. So even though I said water loading and a water cut is probably the first thing that I would do in this sequence to make weight, this is probably one of the easier ones to do if you only have a tiny bit of weight to lose. This might only contribute a half a percentage to maybe, not even a percentage of your total weight cut. But whenever you're making a really large cut, like I've done in the past, every little bit counts. So if you're only having to make weight a tiny bit, you could possibly avoid the water loading and the sodium loading and go straight for gut weight manipulation and make weight that way. So that's an option for you all. Let me know down below, is this something you've heard of before? I feel like I hear of less people doing this than the water and the sodium loading, but it's also a very effective thing to do to still get your calories in whenever you're on one of those hard water cuts. So as always, like, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, happy lifting.